Hello, welcome to Reel Film Snobs. I'm Angela Yeager. I'm pleased to have with me two of my friends and Phoenicians, if you will. And no, that's not Phoenix, Oregon. That's Phoenix, Arizona, an actual city. Hayley, Ringle, and Ernie Quiroz on the show today. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Hello.
Hello,
And
hello.
Ernie and Hayley are here to do and you're going to say the word Telluride. Did I say it correctly that time, Hayley? So you
Yeah.
don't correct my pronunciation. Telluride Film Festival.
Pronunciation.
Your Telluride Film Festival recap. Gosh, she's on fire today. This is bad news. And this is great because I didn't see any of these movies, and so I don't have to do as much talking, which I love because I've been talking all day. And you're going to talk about your favorite films. Maybe you want to start off, talk a little, just for a minute, both of you, about this year's festival in general and what the vibe was like, maybe compared to previous years, because you've both gone for quite a few years now.
Yeah, well, Ernie and
I
I probably have different kind of vibes. We go together, but we barely see each other because he's at a different theater than I'm at. And we have different, we both volunteer, so we have different jobs. I volunteer at a really small theater, and I'm on one side of town working the concession booth, and then Ernie is at a very
Yeah,
busy theater on the other side
so
of
I'm at one of the sort of the flagship venues of the festival. It's called the Werner Herzog. It's a hockey rink, and they convert to like a 650 seat theater, and we get all the big sort of marquee Oscar stuff. I always say I'm always you could have like three different Tellurides at the same time because you could watch all the big Oscar stuff, is which I usually watch all of that because I'm there at the Herzog and I just kind of stay there all day. Or there's all these small little films that you're not going to see anywhere else. Maybe some stuff that played at Cannes and Berlin, and they're just now coming to the U.S. and maybe they never get released. Then there's like restorations of things. There's small documentaries. There's the library, which I think only seats like 40 or 50.
Oh, that's cool.
And so yeah, you can have like almost like three different sort of festivals. And there's outdoor screenings, and there's just so much stuff that I don't even get to see
yeah, a
because you
lot
can
of
never do it
panels.
all. Panels, there's like a whole student symposium. There's just a lot going on.
And then lots of parties that we're not invited to, too.
Parties, yeah, yeah, things that we don't even know about going
Yeah,
up on in
The
the
parties
hills
are for the
and
celebrity or for
for
the
the celebrities. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
probably.
not for the
Yeah.
volunteers, the lowly volunteers like
The,
yourself.
the, the volunteers also have their own parties, so there's lots going on.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like it was an interesting year this year. So let's kick it off. You're going to talk about you're each picked three films that you loved, and of course I had to because Ernie, you got me your list first, and Haley had a couple of the same favorites as you, so I had to tell her to change her movies. So
Oh, nice.
you did have some similarities. I know you have
Okay.
some differences too,
Surprisingly.
but you did like some of the same films. So Haley, I would know this one is one Ernie didn't like, but you picked. So why don't you kick us off with your first movie?
So definitely, I think one of the biggest films that showed was the new Springsteen film. And I actually do not know. Do you have what the full actual name is? I don't have
Yes,
it
because
down.
I'm a professional. I'm prepared.
And you know
Springsteen,
why you don't know
deliver
the name
me,
of it? You don't know
deliver
why you don't
me.
know the name? Because it's such a generic title that means nothing, just like this movie.
Okay, okay. Well, Ernie, let her give a chance to give her review. It's called Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere, directed by Scott Cooper. There, I did your
Yes.
intro. Go ahead,
Yes.
Haley.
So yeah, so I saw this in the Galaxy Theater, which is one of the really cool theaters. It's in a middle school gymnasium, and there's all of this really cool, Galaxy type stuff. So to me, this was, and Bruce Springsteen was in town. Jeremy Allen White was in town, who plays Bruce Springsteen. So obviously, this was the one that everyone was talking about. The screening that I went to, Bruce Springsteen was not there. Jeremy Allen White was not there because I saw it later, because those other screenings, as you can imagine, were very difficult to get into. People waited sometimes several hours and still didn't get in. But I'm a big Jeremy Allen White fan. I loved him in Shameless. I love him in The Bear. He plays Springsteen. This is a very dark period in his life. I think it's only like a year or so. And this it kind of explores his depression before Born in the USA in Nebraska. And, obviously Springsteen is well known at this time, but he's dealing with a lot of demons. And so I really enjoy Jeremy Allen White's performance. I love music biopics, and I loved how he sang. I just really enjoyed this film. Scott Cooper, the director, did come out before and introduce the film. He also talked about how during the filming of this, his house burned up in the LA fires while filming it, and Springsteen let his family stay in his home so they can finish the film, and he gave one of his daughters one of his guitars. And so I loved hearing that story, and I just had a fantastic experience with the theater, his intro, the film. I just loved everything about it.
And it's interesting because you're not a Springsteen fan, is that correct,
No,
Hayley? You're not, and neither is Ernie, I know. I would love to have heard from one person who's actually a fan of Springsteen, like what they thought of the movie, like someone who's a huge fan of his music. Because obviously there's people, I mean, he's for some people like one of the greatest, he's like up there with Dylan for his music or whatever. But so it'd be interesting. So I know you saw the movie, Ernie, right? But you did not like it?
I did not like it. I'm glad you liked it, Hayley. Good for you. Deliver me from nowhere, deliver me from this film. I really do not like rock biopics, music biopics, because it's like the Wikipedia come to life. And I do not like the trend now of where these biodocs, instead of covering their whole life, it's like, here's a year, here's like 2 months, here's them on a one Tuesday, and we're going to make that whole movie about them, for this 4 hour period of their life, and somehow that encapsulates and is symbolic of the. I don't know. I get it, whatever, but I don't.
There was a lot of look back in this film, though. It wasn't just while it was one period. There was a lot of look back because he dealt.
There was
his
the most. Okay,
father
here's the most. Here's the most. The cinephile, Angela. Maybe you'll. So it covers it, and then it covers the period before his most famous album, the one that he's most famous for, Born in the USA. It never even gets to that, and I was like, at least something. Again, I'm not a Springsteen fan, but I was kind of looking forward to that whole Born in the USA, because I was there alive, and I remember that, and the whole Americana and Reagan thing and all that, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of maybe get a. It never even got to that point. So I'm like, why do I care?
Well, that could be kind of interesting because that's the stuff we know about Springsteen. But I'm mixed on that because music biopics used to be, and I haven't seen this one, so I can't say. I actually agree with you, Ernie, in that they're more often than not well done, in my opinion. The ones that are really good are the exception rather than the rule. They used to be like the whole, like, here they were as a child. We think of a movie like Ray, right, with Jamie Foxx. That was like his whole life, and then they show him getting old, and they've kind of, I think Hollywood has gone so far away from that with the recent ones, like with the Bob Dylan biopic with Timmy Chalamet. They also did another one where it's just like this one period of their life. They're trying to get away from that born to death type of thing, but it's a mixed bag. Sometimes I think
I would have been a fan of that. I would have been a fan of that style better. So Bruce did not come to our screening. There was rumors that he might show up, but I think he was like kind of sick or kind of. The altitude really does take it out on you, so I think he was still adjusting to that. But we did get Jeremy Allen White, which, okay, I'm not a fan of his either. I tried to watch The Bear, could not get into The Bear.
What about Shameless? Did you watch that?
No,
I thought he was really good in Shameless.
But here's my point: if you shouldn't have to be a fan of the person, of the actor, or the person to be a fan of the film. Like, it should be able to stand on its own and win me over as a non-fan, and it didn't. So Jeremy Allen White, in his little Q&A, he says what every actor in this situation says. Oh, I didn't want to just mimic Bruce Springsteen or pretend to be Bruce. I wanted a real performance. I'm like, come on, what you're you have all this footage, you have the songs, you can just kind of pretend to be Bruce. Like
He
it's not
actually
really,
doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't look that much like him, but I don't think that's necessarily required
but
to
that's
look
not the point.
exactly
Yeah,
like the
that's not
person.
required. So I don't know. So to me, I don't know. Pretty standard bio
Okay.
doc
We have a
stuff.
lot of
So
movies to get through, so
yeah.
because we're doing six. So why don't you move on to your next one, Ernie?
So my next one is Bugonia. This is the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie with his, I guess, new collaborator or new long-term collaborator, Emma Stone. This was, I guess, a remake of a Korean horror movie, which I really didn't know too much about, which I haven't seen, and I don't want to talk too much about the movie because I feel like the less you know going in, the better. So if you've seen the remake, try to put that out of your head. Do not read about the remake. Do not read about this. Just go in blind, because it goes in some not so bonkers directions like you would expect with Yorgos Lanthimos. You there's sort of a big, like, the nature of who Emma Stone is kind of under question. Who exactly is she? She says she's one thing, but you think another, and you're like, what's going on here? And then the reveal happens, and you're still questioning exactly what happened. And then the ending, yeah, it's bonkers, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Um, like Yorgos, and I didn't think it was. Everyone's afraid of Yorgos Lanthimos because maybe he's like icky or scary or whatever. I didn't think it was. If you're squeamish or whatever, put that aside. There's no horror element like maybe a lobster or dog tooth or anything like that. This is a little
Definitely,
more.
it's violent.
There's some violence, but I feel like it's not as extreme as some of his other films.
Yeah.
And
I
you
and
liked it too,
loosely.
right? Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I said it was delightfully bonkers. It was, uh, it's about these two guys who kind of think that there's aliens kind of in people, but obviously people can't see it. So it's kind of like the TV show Grimm. And uh, Emma Stone plays this like CEO of a local tech company, and she lives in a beautiful house and has a lot of money. And you're like, there's no way that she could be this person that they think she is. And so they kidnap her, and it kind of goes on from there. So yeah, but I definitely agree that going in blind for this film is the
Yeah.
best because it takes so many different turns. And Ari Aster is a producer, which makes a lot of sense to me
Yeah.
because I see a lot of things. And I was bummed I didn't get to see him. He was there at Telluride to do during one of the Q&As. Was he there, Ernie, for your Q&A?
He was not. No.
Okay.
Was Yorgos there or any of the
Yeah,
actors?
Yorgos was there. Emma Stone was there. Jesse Plemons was there. They did come out. I didn't go see the Q&A, but they did come out and introduce it, which was fun. And we saw it late. We caught the 10:30 p.m. screening. So we were definitely tired, but it definitely kept us going. And Emma Stone is from Phoenix. She went to she's known for a local theater company here. So I always love seeing her and
Yeah.
seeing her career progress.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
be
Thumbs
interested.
up.
I like
Thumbs up.
Yorgos's films, but I feel he's been in diminishing returns lately. I feel his films are getting worse with each viewing, so we'll see. I like his early stuff. I'm one of those people. I
Yeah, I
like the
don't know. I
weirder
don't know.
stuff.
I don't know if this is because he did sort of remake. Like he didn't write the story. It's a remake, so maybe that's why it was a. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a bit better than his last couple of
Yes,
films.
Yeah, I did not
definitely,
like Kinds of
definitely better than the
Kindness.
last one.
Yeah, Kinds of Kindness I didn't like very much. So I hope it's better than that. I have seen Save the Green Planet, and it is a bonkers movie, so it'll be interesting. I understand this is quite a bit different, but it'll be very interesting. Okay, next you have the next one, Haley.
And what is the next one?
Blue Moon.
That's okay, Blue Moon. Okay, so this one, Ethan Hawke was one of the tributes of Telluride. They always tribute an actor, director, and I don't know what the third is. It kind of a director who's less well known, or I don't know, Ernie.
I don't know. I think they just picked three
Kind of a
people.
third tribute. Yeah. So Ethan Hawke was everywhere. I think I saw him like six times, which was a delight because I love Ethan Hawke. One of my favorite films was Reality Bites. I saw it in the theater on my 16th birthday. I remember it very clearly. We were the only ones in the theater, my stepmom and I, which was kind of funny. So I went to the tribute, which was really cool because there was a Q&A beforehand. The woman who gave the Q&A she looks just like Laura Dern, which is crazy, but she is a really great interviewer. And the film is all about this movie is filmed by it's Richard Linklater, and this is his ninth film with the director, which is interesting. So this is about him playing. Everyone's heard of Rodgers and Hammerstein. This is him playing the less known guy uh, who writes all of these musicals. But unfortunately, he is an alcoholic. He's dealing with a lot of demons, and it's interesting because Ethan Hawke plays him with he has to wear a bald cap, and then he has a comb over, and he also is short. So the way they filmed it was kind of odd sometimes because they had to make him look short next to everybody. But it has a really great cast. It also stars Andrew Scott, and it stars Margaret Qualley. It just has a really, and I really liked it. Obviously, it was all kind of with continuing. It was a great Q&A. I was, feet away from Ethan Hawke, and then I see this film. I love Richard Linklater. I love Ethan Hawke. I love most of his films, from First Reformed to Dead Poet Society to Reality Bites. And so I think, and he was also there because he has a Merle Haggard documentary, which only showed a couple times and not a lot of people got to see it. But this is another one that I heard some people liked, some people didn't. But I think for me, with all the experience, I like the film.
And it's actually Rodgers and Hart, just so you know, the Great
Yes.
American Songbook. They're very famous for musicals, and of course the song Blue Moon. And you did not like it, I'm assuming, Ernie, or did you see it?
I mean,
It's
I've
okay.
kind of come around to it. I think, I mean, it's Richard Linklater, so even a bad Linklater movie is still worth a watch, I think. I think
Right.
this is sort of lesser Linklater, I feel like. And he had two movies. Linklater had two movies at the festival. He
Nouvelle
had this
Vague,
and
right? The one about
Another
the
one
Nouvelle
French New
Vague.
Wave, yeah.
Oh, I like Nouvelle Vague so much. I mean,
Like
it's
it at all.
not in my top three, but I really like that one a lot better. I think so. This one to me sort of hits those things that Linklater does well. Is he has really great performances. I mean, Ethan Hawke is amazing. I mean, I think it sort of rides on his strength of his performance and screenwriting. He can write dialogue. It is very wordy. It's a lot very talky. It feels at times more like a play,
Yeah,
like
it definitely
visually
does.
it's not that exciting. And this is another movie, I think it's in like real time or very close to real time, sort of on the night, is like opening night of a play or something. And
Oklahoma.
he's sort of yeah, so he's sitting at a bar sort of like slowly getting drunk and kind of like pouring his guts out and like talking bad about other people. So it's kind of real time-ish. So very, very much like a play. It's very dialogue heavy, which I think Linklater does well and Ethan Hawke can pull off. So, but to me, basically a lesser Linklater but that's better than a lot of other filmmakers.
That's true. He's a great filmmaker. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'll see. I mean, I'm excited. He has two movies coming out. I'll see both of them, I'm sure. So why don't we move on to your next film, Ernie, which for the critics that I follow, most people thought it was one of the best films of the festival.
This, I
So,
think, is my favorite film of the year, and not even after Toronto and seen a bunch of other stuff. I think it's still my number one.
mm,
Uh, Unseen Sinners, and maybe even better than One Battle After Another, which I just saw. Sentimental Value. And I don't how Joachim Trier.
yeah,
I
I
don't know how
think
you say his name.
because he's Scandinavian, it's not pronounced Joachim. I think it's
Yeah,
Joachim, but
Joachim Trier.
Trier. We'll go with Trier for the last.
Sentimental Value. So this is a movie. This is Stellan Skarsgård plays sort of an aging filmmaker who is. It's really funny because it starts out with him at a festival where he's getting a tribute. And of course, we're seeing it at a festival where people are getting tribute, so it was kind of trippy, like real life, fiction reflecting reality. So he's sort of an aging filmmaker who is basically trying to make one last film. His daughter, played by what was her name? God, how could I forget her name? Anyway, his daughter is an actor who's sort of very popular, and so he's trying to make a film with her. To kind of get his career sort of going back, but also to sort of reconnect with her. But it's just a lot of, I mean, I love films about film. Like Haley likes films about musicians. I love films about film. So, but this was just really, I mean, just great production value, performances, a storyline, just really, really, really tremendous. And this is a must see. And I would say, yeah, my favorite film of the year. And I could go on and on about it, but
Did you see it, Haley?
I didn't see it.
This filmmaker did The Worst Person in the World, which was a critic's darling from a few years ago. People went bananas for that film, and I liked it. He definitely has a very, I would say, a dark comedic sensibility. Was
mhm.
this one like that in that way?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And it's the same actress. I think her name, how you pronounce it,
Isn't it Renee
Renate
Russtetti?
Rensve, maybe?
yeah.
Renate, Renate. I don't know how you say that. They're Norwegian. What can you do? So, uh, but yeah, she was in Worst Person in the World too, and she's also in this one, right? So,
Yeah.
so it sounds
And then,
like it was a big
well,
hit at the
and then
festival
there's
too.
also a very famous young ingenue type. He plays like an influencer type, and so at one point he feels like he needs to cast her because she's got the likes and the clicks, and he feels like pressure to I can't remember her
Hmm.
name either. I'm so bad, but anyway, it's a must see.
Must see. Okay. Well, and I'm interested in this next one of yours, Haley, because this one I had not heard much about until you recommended it. So why don't you talk about your last film here? Pillion, is that how you say it?
Yes. So this was definitely one of the most memorable. This is a rom-com BDSM film, so definitely not for everyone. This is a first-time director, the directorial debut of Harry Lighton, and it stars the beautiful Alexander Skarsgård, who is a biker, lovingly clad in leather for most of the film. So if you are an Alexander Skarsgård fan, you will love this film. And he is in a BDSM relationship with Harry Melling, who is interesting because if you're a Harry Potter fan, you will know him from Harry Potter. And it's interesting because you will never, uh, this is a far cry from Harry Potter. And one of my favorite scenes is Harry Melling in an assless wrestling outfit and him and Alexander Skarsgård having a romp. So I loved this film. It's definitely X-rated. The director came out and introduced the film and said, "So, are you guys ready for some hardcore pornography?" And the older woman next to me kind of turned to me and she's like, what are we in for?" And I said, "Buckle up." And
Haley's like, I'm
everybody
ready. Alexander Skarsgård's in chaps. Let's go.
Yes. I think everybody liked that. I didn't see anyone walking out. And then after the film, I turned around and Emma Stone was sitting there watching the film too. So that was cool.
Oh, she was behind you?
Yeah, she was behind me. So Pillion is actually when you're riding in a motorcycle and there's that little car on the side,
Uh-huh.
that's a pillion.
Oh, okay. I always thought they were
So
called
that's what the name
sidecars or
comes.
something. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I know what you're
So
talking about.
that's
Yeah.
what the name comes from. And so it basically explores Alexander Skarsgård and Harry Melling, their characters. Harry Melling is, it kind of sounds like a shy gay guy who wants to be in a relationship. And then he sees this beautiful god at a bar and he's like, I want to be friends with them. And he becomes friends with them and kind of becomes the slave in the relationship. And so it's definitely interesting because they feature this real life gay uh, biker gang, which Alexander Skarsgård said that they all came to the Cannes Film Festival all dressed up in their leather
Oh, well.
outfits, and he said it was the best part. And so I was just the one thing I was disappointed. Alexander Skarsgård and the director and Harry Melling were there for a Q&A afterwards. I was disappointed he was not in leather. He was wearing sweats because he has been shown up at many of the screenings wearing leather, to kind of go along with the film. And one of the questions the interviewer asked was, "What was your favorite part of the film?" And they all said, "The orgy." So
So
I really,
they weren't feeling shy about doing
no,
hardcore gay sex in the
oh
film. But
no.
it's a rom-com. It's not serious. It's not tragic, I guess.
It's, I mean, it's
You
hard
said it
to
was a
describe.
rom-com,
You
so.
wouldn't think it's funny, but it was funny. There were a lot of people laughing, and because I think there was a lot. Harry Melling is kind of a weird looking guy, and that played well in this film because everyone's just like, "How in the world is that your boyfriend?"
Mhm.
And so it played well in the film.
Yeah.
And
But it's more of a lighthearted gay romance. It's not tragic because I think
I
that's
mean, I
kind
don't
of
want to
needed.
ruin it. It's not a happy ending.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we won't get
Well, in
into it,
some
but
parts it was, but not,
okay.
it was a fun one for me.
Okay. That's what you go to film festivals for, to see
Yes.
quirky stuff. Did you see that one, Ernie? No?
I missed out on the hardcore gay sex. Yeah, but this is what I mean. This is where there's smaller films
Hmm.
that again you could go three times and still not see the
We're
same
both
thing.
Skarsgårds at Telluride at the same time. That's the
Yeah,
question. Because
Yes.
Stellan
but I
and
heard,
Alexander
yeah,
were both there?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, see, that's pretty
and I
cool.
heard I did hear good things about it. So anyway,
Yeah, no, it's gotten pretty good reviews. I looked it up
yeah.
after. It was just one of the only ones I didn't know from the name. Okay, so the last one, Ernie. We only have two
If I had
minutes.
legs, I'd kick you. This is directed by Mary Bronstein. This is probably with the most intense, like horrific non-horror movie I've ever seen. This is just, I 90 minutes. I don't know how long of just in your face, tense, tense, tense. Like it does not let up for 1 second, and it's essentially if you ever wanted to watch a movie to not have kids, to never if you don't have kids and like reaffirm that decision of like not having kids is a good idea, this is the movie because I guarantee you, this is not an endorsement for parenthood.
Oh, wow.
Um, Nothing really. I mean, this is just a
Or for
woman
being a
on the
woman.
or for being a woman. I mean, this is basically a woman, on the verge of a nervous breakdown. This is, and all those thousand little things that happen in life that just piling up on you and piling up and piling up and just, a death by a thousand cuts and just like every little thing, and then you just want to scream and help, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. It's intense. Rose Byrne, I think, is going to get an Oscar nomination. The camera's almost on her the entire time, and you just see her being beaten down and weighed down by life, and it's intense. It's
I like
intense.
Roseburn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she is so fantastic in this. I'm also watching Platonic, which is a really good TV show with her and Seth Rogen. And she plays a lot of intense characters. She's in that TV show Physical, which is also an intense one. But this one, yeah, she came out and she said, "You're going to see a lot of me in this because a lot of it is focused squarely on her face." And it has a great cast. It also has Conan O'Brien. It has ASAP Rocky, Slater. So really great cast, and it's definitely very intense.
I totally
Uh,
forgot about Conan. He has unintentional. I mean, he's not playing a comedic character, but you see him and he's so out of like the last person you would ever expect.
So
He
good.
does an amazing job. But it elicits a little bit of laughter, not necessarily because of him, but just because it's so unexpected. But he does a great job.
well, he's
Yeah,
just kind of a weird
And
looking guy, let's
and he's
face
a
it.
weird
So it's
looking
just
guy.
funny. He's
Yeah,
like inherently funny looking. So,
yeah.
and Mary Bronstein, the director, she was also in the film.
oh,
She was
okay.
the
Oh yeah. That's
if you remember Ernie, she was
yeah.
the woman at the school,
At
the
the
theater
yeah.
at the school.
My friend Brian, who goes to Sundance every year, saw it there, did not like this movie. So I can imagine it's one of those you either like it or you don't, maybe.
Yeah. It could be
So. Divisive.
divisive.
Well, it sounds like some really great films that us peons will have to watch when they come to theaters. I think all the films you've talked about will probably show in theaters. Pillion might be one I have to head up to Portland to see, maybe. I bet it will show in Portland though. But I'm excited to see all of them. So
You go to the rental store that gives you movies in the brown paper bag.
yeah, I think if it's got Alexander Skarsgård, I'd probably see it somewhere, but probably have to head up to Portland. It might not show down here in Little Salem. So thank you both for coming on and thank you for your recap. Appreciate it. As always, have a great day and great movies. Bye bye.
Bye.